My name is Nicholas Ostler. I was born and raised in Las Vegas. I started training in 2011 when I was 18 years old. Well, from the time that I was in 4th grade, I remember consciously thinking that I wanted to be the best built kid by the time I was 18. And so my dad actually didn't let me lift weights because he didn't want me to stunt my growth. And so I started doing push-ups and sit-ups and stuff when I was about 10 or 11. Started doing like 100 push-ups a day, 100 sit-ups a day, and kind of just started doing that. And finally, when I got to that age, I started lifting weights and was really serious about it from the get-go. But I knew the whole time that that's what I wanted to do before I even knew what bodybuilding was. Well, when I started, Jay Cutler was Mr. Olympia. And so that was definitely the first person who I looked to for inspiration, along with Arnold, who's everyone's go-to. But really, Jay Cutler was the man at the time, so that's who I looked to and tried to emulate what he was doing. I've been training seriously on and off, so it's really hard to say because life always comes at people in different times and different things that go on in their life. But I really started competing 5 years ago. When I won my first show was September of 2011. So I started training about 2 months before that for that show. I ended up winning my first 4 shows.
Work that body, work it, work it. Work that body, work it, work it.
So I had a good run as a teenager that really encouraged me to start working hard and make this my life. I'm making fitness my life because I knew that it was something I wanted to do from such a young age. And I've been so passionate about it ever since before I really even knew what it was about. Before I ever started even lifting weights or anything like that, I knew that it was something I wanted to do. And so now I've just fallen in love with the process of working hard and the results and everything that goes into the fitness industry and competing itself. A couple of the biggest ones, well, it was interesting because the first show that I did, I ended up doing kind of on a whim. So I was actually at Muscle Beach in Venice, California, and a promoter for a show down there approached me and asked me to do that show when I had already set my sights on doing the Las Vegas Classic. And he told me it was 8 weeks away. And so I was in the gym and everything, but I wasn't thinking of competing or preparing for a show or anything like that yet. I knew that I wanted to do one down the road, but it was a few months farther down the road. And then he was like, no, you'll be ready, it's fine, just do it. And so I was like, okay. And so I went ahead and started getting ready for that one, and I ended up winning that one when I did it, and that was something I really felt proud about because of the history in Venice and everything like that. And so it was exciting for me to start my career in competing there. And so I was very happy to do that, and then transitioned to the Las Vegas Classic that I won 2 months after that. So we kind of just got on a roll from there, and then I ended up doing the Jay Cutler Classic, which really hit home for me. After winning that one, it was really cool because I got to shake Jay's hand and really enjoy that victory with him being there and everything. So that really solidified that love and dream for me. The struggles that I really faced were more personal than anything that was physical in terms of actually dieting or training or anything like that. It's never really gonna be about that being difficult. If it is, you're not really cut out for it. Really, just when life hits you, like my parents getting divorced, I ended up getting married and kind of lost sight of the whole dream and vision and everything when I found out I was having a baby at 20. You know, that takes a priority. And so I kind of took my foot off the gas in training and competing and everything like that when those priorities shifted over to more family oriented. Having Christ in my life, I've let lead and kind of guide me through the good times and the bad. As things have come up, I remember praying throughout my first competition, my second competition, and almost receiving confirmation that I was going to win. Like I knew before I even went out there. And then even in the bad times, I knew that he was always there for me and watching out for me as troubles would arise or whatever kind of challenges and obstacles that I needed to get through, that he was always by my side through everything. Her name's Chanel. The only thing I love as much as fitness is my daughter. It continues to grow every day, and it's really exciting just watching her grow up. But I feel like her and I have a bond that's hard to put in words. I feel like everyone kind of has that with their child, and it's just cool being able to experience that really as a young dad. I mean, I'm just turned 23 a couple weeks ago, and she's really starting to grow up every day. You see something different with her being able to talk, and it's just been a blast, man. Training myself is my first love, but I do love training other people as well. I'm just so passionate about it that if someone else shares that passion with me, I'm more than happy to help anyone that wants guidance or help or advice or whatever, if you just want to train together because you love to train too. I originally did not enjoy training other people when I was a little bit younger because I was a little bit more stubborn in terms of if someone didn't share the commitment that I had personally to fitness and the relationship with fitness that I have, that I was not able to train them. Because if you're not ready to die when you go in the gym, then you're obviously not willing to put in the work that you need. That was kind of the way that I saw things. But obviously, everyone's goals are different, and that's something that I had to understand. Not everyone's looking to do the same things. And so you have to really come at it from, you're just trying to help get people to where they want to be. And so that's really why I do it now. I just want to use my knowledge and experience and love for fitness to help others get what I have and then more, or whatever they want to get. Whatever their goal is, that's what I want to help them get. That's how I felt. I realized after a while that it can't just be about, not everyone wants to be Mr. Olympia or even compete. Not everyone's interested in dieting for 12 weeks and starving and doing cardio every day and all that, and that's fine. A lot of the time people just want to look healthy, feel good, have more energy, and that's great. Because those are all good things. And you can't knock someone for that because they want to be healthy or feel better or just lose a little bit of fat, whatever. It's all good. No matter what your goal is, everyone has goals that they want to reach physically and whatever. So it's really just important to keep that in mind now. I'm not so bullheaded when it comes to that stuff. So I'm happy to take on clients that don't have the same goals as me. Within 50 weeks of me training, I could bench double my body weight, which was really good. So I would really always excel at fitness, but I always was, even at a young age, even though it came naturally, it wasn't ever about that to me. It wasn't ever about like, let me wear my tank top and just, let me go to the gym and flex, do arms every day. It wasn't ever about that. So, I mean, yeah, but you have to kind of move past that as well. It's kind of a maturity thing where you kind of let everyone each to their own. Yeah. And the first thing that comes out of my mouth is, well, what are you looking to accomplish? Because normally I start people with 12-week programs to kind of jumpstart everything, because you can really gauge a lot of goals and their commitment to you and vice versa in that initial 12 weeks. And you can always see a lot of progress if you're doing everything right from the start. 90 days is a good amount of time to see attainable progress where it's all realistic and kind of just one step after another. I feel like that's something I've really built a really strong foundation on, is making sure that people can see the progress that they're making. And so you keep it a short-term goal as well as your long-term goal, to always make sure it's attainable to them and that they don't get discouraged, whether they want to lose 100 pounds or put on 50 pounds of muscle or whatever. Like I said, everyone's goal is different, so it's about making sure that they stay enthusiastic and they stay committed to their goal. It varies per person, and that's something I've really prided myself on as I've developed my career in training others, is that you can't really take the same approach to any two people. A lot of things will work with a lot of different people, but I'm not going to assume that you can do the same thing as me and that's going to work the same for both of us. Because a lot of the time that's not the case. So personally for me, when I train, I like to do a lot of high volume stuff. And what that means is high repetitions and high sets. So I might do 5 sets and do 50 reps and then 40 reps and then 30 reps, 20 reps and 10 reps and just up the weight as I go. But really get a lot of volume in there, because the biggest thing is pumping blood into the muscle, regardless of the weight that you're doing. I change the style of program depending on what the client's looking to do. So obviously if someone's trying to gain weight, it's not gonna be the same as if someone's really trying to cut down for a show. It doesn't really make sense for them to be on the same program. A lot of the diet's obviously not gonna be the same for someone who's trying to put on muscle compared to someone who's getting ready for a show, because a lot of the time you're cutting down for a show, even if you obviously want to maintain your muscle mass and everything like that, you're not going to be on the same kind of program. So things just vary based on what you're looking to do. That's the biggest thing. The approach that I'm taking with David is we're going to start with high volume training. So we kind of went over that a little bit. So we're going to be doing 5 sets of basically every exercise that we do. So the idea behind that is you're going to be building muscle and losing fat simultaneously, because we're doing high intensity workouts in terms of the pace of how fast we're doing, the breaks between each set and things like that. But we're also doing a high rep, so we're getting as much blood into the muscle as possible. What I've learned is how much weight you push doesn't matter. If you lift heavy or small or whatever, it's all about the blood. How much blood can you put into the muscle, period. When you add that with the intensity that we're bringing to the training itself, you're gonna be able to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. And we're gonna add that onto the nutrition plan. Really, I wanna bring you in as much as possible in terms of losing your body fat and maintaining as much muscle mass as possible, but really focusing on losing as much fat as possible leading up to the show, because I would rather you be too ready and be able to add more food in than trying to knock things off as you're depleting and you're losing weight, making it more difficult for you to stay on your diet, because it gets more mentally draining and physically draining as you're low on calories and things like that. So I'd rather you be ready a month out and have already lost all of this weight and be looking like you're super cut down, and then be able to add food back in and kind of coast into the show like you're already ready a month away. So that's the mentality that I have with it, is I would rather get ready at 16 weeks than at 8, and you already be ready for it 4 weeks away. Because then it's just gonna be easier on you mentally and physically going into the show. It's a piece of cake. You already know that you're ready, you look fantastic, and it's really not that hard on you diet-wise or training-wise, because you feel good, because you have the right amount of food. You're not starving anymore, but you're already ready.
All right.
1, 2,
8, 9, 40. Oh, wow. It's only 140. Some of you might think the last 50 didn't count. I don't care. You're not doing this photo shoot. 200. Let's do this. I'm not the rock. I'm the pebble.
Are you done with sit-ups and push-ups?
Huh?
Are you just resting? What are you doing?
You want more?
Yeah.
Right. So the meal plan, based on your height and weight and everything like that, we're gonna try and stay in a range of 30 to 50 grams of protein per meal. Obviously, we're gonna be having 5 meals a day. So we wanna be able to maintain as much muscle mass as possible while cutting out the fats and carbs. Obviously, I like to cycle things in terms of your carbohydrates because I've found that that's really effective when preparing for a show. So what that means is, let's say one day you'll do 50 carbs, and then 100 carbs, and then 150, and then back to 50 on the 4th day, for example. So I found that that's really effective in burning fat because you're taking that glycogen out of the muscle group while you're still training the same. It's going to pull all of that extra fat out. So you're getting tighter and tighter as you're training on a deficit. And then when you get the more carbs in, you get more pumped up and everything like that. But really, one of the things that I found is really important is just listening to people's bodies. And that's something I'd really like to touch on. In the first show that I got ready for, I didn't have a coach or anything like that. I actually meditated 1 to 2 hours a day, which is something that I haven't done before or since, which is kind of interesting. But I meditated for 1 to 2 hours a day and really listened to my body wholeheartedly, whether I needed more protein, more fats, more sleep, whatever it was, more training, anything. Whatever my body told me to do is what I did, and I didn't listen to anything else. And it's very interesting, and so that's the way I really like to approach training clients, because no two people are the same. And so I'm not gonna say that you're like me or anyone else. And so I really wanna take that and put that with you. Like, if things aren't working out for you and we're not seeing the changes that we're wanting to see, we're gonna adjust things, period. Because I wanna make it work for you no matter what. And if the plan that you're on right now is not yielding the results that we want, then we just need to alter things to where it makes sense and we do see those results. So if we need to change and you eat a little bit more or eat a little bit less or whatever, eat more fats and pull your carbs back a little bit because your body responds better to that, that's what we're gonna do. I really would love to see him win this show. I would like him to win the overall for Men's Physique in Las Vegas Classic this year in November. That's obviously, that's just what we have to shoot for. I mean, we're not gonna do anything less than that. I understand it's the first show, but we go all out. So we're expecting a win for sure. I would like to see him do novice as well, just for fun, even though I don't think that he'll need to do novice in terms of the lack of experience. I think that we're gonna be just fine. We really wanna bring him in ready to compete against anyone at that level. So that is the hope that I have for him, that we can go ahead and get that first place trophy come November. One of the biggest things that I emphasize when training anyone is the mental game that you bring to the table, because I felt like I've had to develop that before I developed anything else. And I really feel like that started when I was 9, when I knew that that's something that I carved out in my mind that was going to be who I was. And I brought that to fruition in my teenage years, and now 5 years later, I'm looking at competing at Olympia next year. So I really emphasize challenging yourself mentally and really bringing yourself to a place where you're stronger mentally than ever, because the physical aspect you can handle when the mental aspect is there. I want to go down as one of the greatest ever. I feel like that's been how I see myself and how I feel like I was born to be that way since I was young. That's just how I've always seen things going for me. And despite challenges and things that may arise in life, I think that I'm poised to conquer.
Gotta make do with a broken wrist.
Do what you gotta do, man. Oh, it sucks though. Feel bad.
Just time to get a peek.
Halfway through. Ow! 100 more. This bone is really heavy. 7, 8, 9, 30. 7, 8, 9, 40. Wow, it's only 140. Some of you might think the last 50 didn't count. I don't care. You're not doing this photo shoot. This is not easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We should be good.
I can use push-ups too.
Yeah. There we go.
Something, man.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see who can do the most.
I'll beat him. Trust me.
Yeah.
Can I get one with this then? And then, just
Sure.
because I really like the tank top. I
Alright.
got like 50 likes on Facebook.
Yeah. But yeah, I like it. Okay, 1, 2. All right. You want it dark?
Yeah. What do you mean dark? Can I see? Why am I half naked? You're probably wondering why I'm half naked. It's because I got these lights in front of me. I'm doing a photo shoot with Mr. Ben Sahagi. Check it out, Alex. Bam. When you were younger, did you ever look at people at the gym wearing a stringer tank top, and they shouldn't be wearing it yet?
Man, I've given people a hard time about showing off stuff that's not there since the beginning. So, I mean, yeah, but you have to kind of move past that as well. It's kind of a maturity thing where you kind of let everyone each to their own.